Right, we want to welcome to the stage, first time ever, and she'll explain what it's all about at the end of it. But Thuré's very own Julie. Big round of applause.
I'll tell you what, is this working? I'll tell you what, I just come out that toilet getting changed. On my way out, there was a man coming in. I said to him, "Excuse me, this is for ladies." He said, "So's this, love." Anyway, in case you didn't know, I'm from Dorset. I brought up in a little village called Chickerell. Right, when my father bought that cottage with my mother, they went and viewed it. Of course, in them days, no flush toilets. Just a bloody shed out the back with a bucket and a box over it. Anyway, they went to view it. Mother fell in love with it. She said, "Oh, I like this cottage." Anyway, father said to the owner, he said, "Well, we like the cottage." He said, "But there's just one complaint we got about it, sir." He said, "What's that?" He said, "Well, I've noticed there's no lock on that toilet door." He said, "Ah, well, sir, I wouldn't worry about that." He said, "I've lived there myself for 40 years and we've never had a bucket of shit pinch yet." Of course, you see all sorts in the village pub, you know, when you live in the country. Last week, some bloke walked in the pub. He said to the farmer, "I want to work with you." He said, "What's on?" He said, "Last week, your son broke my daughter's virginity." He said, "Well, don't worry about that. He's a clumsy bugger. Last week, he broke our tractor." Of course, you see all sorts. Bloke comes in, chatting up some woman. "Do you want to come outside?" She said, "Oh, I can't, sir." She said, I've got the woman's monthly." He said, "Don't worry about that. I got the farmer's weekly. We'll be all right." Anyway, there was a dance in the village hall. So, go to the village hall. The village idiot's there, isn't he? Some woman, some red ginger party comes up to him and said, "Do you want to dance?" He said, "I can't dance." "Of course you can. Anybody can dance." "No," he said, "I can't." She said, "Well, look, here's a tip for you. Just carry on like this." He said, "Just do this. 10p, 20p, 50p a pound." So they went to the disco and he was there. 10p, 20p, 50p a pound. Brilliant night. They went home that night, walked her home. She said, "Come in for coffee." So he went in for a cup of coffee and she said, "Are you going to make love to me?" He said, "Oh, I don't know about that." He said, "I've never done it before." She said, "Well, you was all right with the dancing, weren't you?" "Yes." He said, "Well," she said, "apply the same method. 10p, 20p, 50p a pound." So he gets in there, they're in bed, they're going to plenty. 10p, 20p, 50p a pound. 10p, 20p, 50p a pound. After a while he went, "Oh, bugger this, 180, 180, 180. Of course, my Uncle Bert, when he joined up, he called up for his papers. He didn't want to go, did he? So he had to go for a medical. Called him up. They said, "Right, can you get in here?" He said, "Well, I need to tell you now, I'm half blind." "That's all right," he said, "we'll put you in the front line." Shit, he said. "Well," he said, "I've got one leg shorter than the other." He said, "Don't worry, the ground's uneven where you're going." Next thing you know, they said, "Drop your trousers." So he dropped his trousers, and the doctor said, "Oh, you seem to be a little bit small there, sir." He said, "Well, Christ, I thought we had to fight him, not anything else." Anyway, right, we had some Irish neighbours move in. Next thing, my father's out in the garden talking to Paddy over the fence, and a lorry load of turf went by. And Paddy said to me father, "You see that, George? That's what I'm going to do." He said, "What's that then?" He said, "When I win the lottery, I'm going to send my grass away to be cut as well." And talking to Paddy, last week, he went to church. Stood up in church, Father O'Reilly said, "I want everyone in church to stand up who had sex before marriage." No one got up. He said it again. After a while, slowly but surely, Paddy stood up. And Father O'Reilly said, are you telling me that you had sex before marriage? He said, no, Father, I didn't. I just didn't like you see you standing on your own. Paddy went to the groceries last week. He went in there, he said, I'll have £5 of potatoes. He said, it's kilos now. He said, well, I'll have £5 of kilos then. He said, how much are your eggs? He said, £1 a dozen and 50p the cracked ones. He said, well, crack me a dozen. And how much are your tomatoes? Well, they're £2 a kilo. £2 a kilo, he said. Well, you know where you can shove them. He said, I can't. I've already got a cucumber there. Last week, Paddy's coming home from the pub. He saw a man jumping off the bridge, going to kill himself. Oh, big Jesus. So he jumped in, saved him. Next morning, he's knock on the door. Policeman. He said, is it true, Paddy Murphy, that last night you saved a man from drowning? He said, yes, I did, officer, but I don't want any medals. He said, well, I'm telling you now, I haven't come to give you any. I've come to tell you, you wasted your time, because the man hung himself in a tree. And he went, no, he didn't, officer, I put him up there to dry. He bought a motorbike last week. He got a motorbike and he's going through the street and he's got Murphy on the back and he's going 120 bloody miles. He thinks he's bloody leader of the pack, he does. All of a sudden, Murphy's behind and said, oh, Paddy, be Jesus, the wind's cutting through my chest, slow down. So he stopped and he said to Murphy, Murphy, tell you what to do. Put your coat on back to front and do it up round the back. So he gets on the bike and now he's doing 140 miles an hour. Well, they've gone down the road. Next thing, he's thinking, bloody Jesus, where's he gone? He's not on the back, is he? He looks down the road, he's lying in the gutter, and there are 3 farmers stood over him. He went, oh, Jesus, is he all right? Murphy, Murphy, are you all right? And these 3 farmers said, well, he was breathing till we turned his head round the right way. Of course, my Uncle Bert, you know, was called up to join the war. He got his call. Have I told you this one? I haven't, I God. Sorry, Mother. Bloody hell. I'm losing my flow. I know I would. But anyway, let me tell you this. We live in Weymouth, and we live by the seaside, and we get all these pensioners come there for their holidays. Last week, 2 old ladies walk along the seafront. One's there holding on to her hat. She just bought a new hat. She's holding on to it, skirts blowing up, everything. She's showing it all, isn't she? Mabel, she said, you're showing all you've got. She said, I don't bloody care. This hat's brand new and that's 80-year-old. They walked along the seafront this morning on an early morning stroll, and out come to see 2 skinny dippers have gone down there, absolutely naked. And they go, Bob, quick, what are we going to do? There's 2 ladies coming. He said, well, the only thing we can do, jump on the sand and cover yourself up the best way you can. Well, it was an hot day and there was 2 bits sticking up. Need I say more? Mabel comes along, she said, Elsie, look at this, she said. Back where we live, we got to get married to get one of them, and down here they're growing bloody wild. Quick as a flash, she took out her scissors. She said, I'm going to take a cut. No, she said, don't do that, Mabel, it'll die. She said, no, you're all right, I've left the bulbs behind. She had her granddaughter to stay last week, and she come down the stairs, see-through blouse, no bra on, showing it all. And she said, what are you doing? You can't go like that, showing yourself. No, it's all right, Nan, it's okay. It's trendy and it's cool to show your rosebuds. So next morning, when she comes down, Nan's sitting in the front room, topless. Everything on display. She goes, Nan, what are you doing? You can't do that. Well, she said, yesterday, you told me it was all right, it was cool to show your rosebuds. So if it's all right for you to show your rosebuds, it's okay for me to show me hanging baskets. Well, my sister works in a school, right? And they get asked all sorts of things, kids, don't they? Well, last week, they sat in the class, teacher said, how far away is Africa? Little boy puts up his hand, he said, 500 miles, miss. No, I'm sorry, it's not that. of a little boy puts his hand up. He said, 600 miles, miss. No, I'm sorry, Timmy, it's not that. Little Johnny, who was a clever bugger, puts his hand up. I know, miss, it's not very far. She said, why do you say that? He said, well, that little black boy that sits next to me goes home to dinner every day. They were asked to draw a picture depicting panic. Right? One little boy, he's drawn a ship sinking, everyone's jumping off, they're in the right life rafts and they're, you know, well, looking like panic, basically. Well done, she said, well done. The next little boy had drawn an aircraft and they're all jumping out with parachutes. Well done, that's panic. Little Johnny, the clever bugger, he'd drawn a black cross on a piece of paper. She said, what's that? He said, it's panic, miss. Johnny, that's not panic. He said, miss, it's panic. He said, every month, in our kitchen we have got a calendar, and every month my sister puts a cross on it. And this week, there ain't one. You see the bloody panic in our house. Of course, a friend of mine, she went to the doctor's. She wanted to improve her bust. Doctor said, easy, all you've got to do is exercise. I must improve my bust. So she said, okay. So everywhere she went to the shops, I must improve my bust. Down the road, I must improve my back. I've gone up 2 sizes since I've been telling this joke. Anyway, she gets on the bus, she's at the bus stop. I must improve my bust. She gets on the bus. The inspector gets on, he said, I know where you've been. She said, what? He said, you've been to see Dr. Clark, haven't you? She said, how do you know? He went, hickory dickory dock. Well, I'm going to tell you a little one now. It's nothing to do with my story, because my story's run out, I think. God bless your mum. But there's a little story, right? The sat on the wall was 2 bald eagles. And one had a plumage to die for. And the other looked as scraggy as hell. And he said, how do you look so good? He said, well, I'll tell you the secret. He said, I have sex every day. He said, but there ain't any bald eagles round here. He said, no, it don't have to be a bald eagle. It can be anything. So he sat on the fence. And he thought, oh, wait. And all of a sudden, along came a goose. Whoosh, down he was. In the bushes, feathers flying. And after a while, the goose said, oh, I'm a goose and I've been seduced and I liked it. 2 minutes later, he thought, wait, along came a dove. Whoosh, down he went, in the bushes, feathers flying everywhere. He went, I'm a dove and I've been loved, but I liked it. He thought, this is it, one more. I'm just waiting for one more now. One more. And along came a duck. No, don't get carried away. Whoosh, down he went, feathers flying everywhere, in the bushes. Next thing he came out, he went, I'm a drake, and there's been a mistake, but I liked it. Now I'm going to finish up with this little tune, and I've missed half of this repertoire out, but it's not my repertoire, but I'm going to sing up this little tune, and you can join in on the chorus, and I hope it won't offend you. Okay, it's in the tune of Johnny Cash's Big Job, okay? Sunday morning in the S-Bend you could see him arrive. He was 9 inches long and 2 inches wide. Kind of broad in the centre and narrow in the tip, and bobbing in a bowl like a brown battleship. Big Pooh. Big Pooh. Big Pooh. Big Bad Pooh. He emerged from the bowels of Lady Jane with a fair bit of grunting and a whole lot of pain. He squeezed through her cheeks with fire and ash, and into the bowl with a hell of a splash. Big Pooh. Big Pooh. Big Pooh. Big Bad Pooh. Well, he started his life the day before as a nice juicy steak that was medium raw. Sprouts and vegetables hung him long, and 2 hot cross buns made him awfully strong. Big Pooh. Big Pooh. Big Pooh. Big Bad Pooh. 4 glasses of wine lubricated his weight with some added propulsion from a chocolate cake. And the big lumpy swelling in the log in the bowl was the stone from a plum that she'd swallowed whole. Big Pooh. Big Big boo, big boo, big bad boo. It took 14 flushes to send him away, but the skid marks he left clung on for 10 days. But this wasn't the end of his journey so long. He collected 6 tampons and 2 used johns. Big poo. Big poo. Big poo. Big bad poo. This was just the beginning of something more. There were curried beans buried deep in his gore. They brewed the gas they ran engines from, and this floating log became an atom bomb. Big poo. Big poo. Big poo. Big bad poo. Well, he slid through a valve at the treatment shed, where he lurked in the chemicals till they ate his head. Then with a rush of gas, almighty bang, the whole plant went up and the fat lady sang. Big poo. Big poo. Big bad poo. Well, there wasn't a whole lot left of the site. It was levelled to the ground by brown dynamite. So they inscribed a plaque, and on it he was writ, at the bottom of this sewer lies a big, mean shit. Big poo, big poo, big bad poo. Oh, do you know what? Can I just say I'm so glad that's over.
Well, I should have introduced Julie as Dorset Dolly's daughter.
Yeah.
I'll let her explain why.
Dorset Dolly was my mum. My mum would have entertained you big time out there. I tried to do a little. There's my mum, who died last year. And my mum, trust me, would have given you the show to die for. And I'm trying to walk in her footsteps badly, mum. But hey, this is to my mum. Love you, mum.
Well, that's brilliant. As usual.